A simple blood test could screen for Alzheimer's disease even before a patient is showing any symptoms. Right now, that type of testing, it usually involves a brain scan or a spinal tap, but a study is now finding that this new blood test is just as accurate. So today we have Jim Herlihy with us from the Alzheimer's Association. Thanks for coming back on the show. We appreciate it. This is a big deal. So tell us a little bit about the blood study, the testing, and what exactly is it looking for?
Well, it's looking for the accumulation of plaque in the brain, which would be evident in the blood. And so what this does is this makes testing available for people who would not normally be tested.
Right.
And so if you get this as part of your annual physical, there's a chance that many more people who are living with this disease can get diagnosed. And what we know is right now, of the nearly 7 million Americans living with Alzheimer's and 76,000 Coloradans, only about half ever get diagnosed.
Wow.
So if you don't get diagnosed, you can't take advantage of the new medications that can slow the progression.
Right.
Your loved ones can't take advantage of that knowledge and how to better deal with you and cope with the changes.
So it is interesting because you were saying the hope is to eventually maybe incorporate it into something like your physical or your annual exam, which I can imagine could help with the cost barrier to getting some of this testing done.
That's right. It brings the cost down and it makes it accessible because a lot of people just don't want to go to the extra step. Is this test really necessary? But if you're going in for your annual physical, you're getting your cholesterol checked, you're getting other tests done. They can test for this at the same time. It's done, and then your doctor can interpret the results.
You talk about, a brain scan or a spinal tap, and that's big. That feels like a really big thing you have to go through. How is a blood test now comparable to that accuracy?
Well, it is comparable, and actually there was a clinical trial done in Sweden where, since we know that a lot of the diagnosis of Alzheimer's is done by family physicians or gerontologists, they were right about 55% of the time. The blood test was right 85% of the time.
Wow.
So what that means is, you've got two possibilities here for this test going wrong. One is people, or the diagnosis going wrong, people who have the disease miss out on the chance to get the medications, or people who have the disease and are told they don't, then they're going through this without that. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you want to get this done right, and the blood test is something that improves the accuracy.
And I think there's a really important point that it's something that can detect even before symptoms. So that means starting medication earlier, and then what does that mean for the patient?
Well, what it means is improved quality of life, because if you let it go beyond the time when these medications can help you, then the progression is faster. Then there's different implications. One is for your family, for your caregivers, this puts a big burden on them to be able to care for you. And then there's the financial cost of going into assisted living. And so what the NIH found, the National Institutes of Health, did a study, it was about 10 years ago. And what they found is if you could postpone the onset of Alzheimer's by 1 year, it was like a $70 billion economic impact, or roughly, to bring it down to our level, about $183,000 per person. Wow. So in avoiding some of these extra costs of care, which is very expensive, plus the financial impacts on our loved ones who are providing care and changing their lives to help accommodate.
Well, this is a game changer, and I think the more people who know about it, the better. So thank you so much for stopping by today. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Want to give